Hello, welcome to the Cats and Books Club podcast. I'm Izzy, and that's Erin. Erin, say hi.
Hi, guys.
She's my cat. Oh, yes. So since this is the Cats and Books podcast, my cats, I have two cats. So my cats are Cleo and Gemini, and they're both very cute. And Erin, talk about your cats.
So my cat names are Pippin and Aquila, and I'm actually looking at Pippin right now. She is sleeping in the closet on an old robe.
Aw. Well, that's nice. Anyway, today we're going to be discussing the first book called Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. It is the first book in the Throne of Glass series. Erin, tell us about this author.
Yes. So I first heard about this author kind of through many reading channels, Goodreads, Facebook, just any social networking channel. But she actually started writing when she was 16 years old. So I thought that was pretty cool. And they do say that as you read all of the books that she's written, you can tell that she does become a better writer over time. So those are just kind of the fun facts that I have about Sarah J. Maas.
All right. So here's the thing. Erin is plugged into this. She loves this type of book, which is sort of like a fantasy kind of either young adult or not young adult. I mean, Erin, what is the like book talk books?
Yes, book talk and all of that.
Erin is plugged into the book talk. She's younger than me. Just kidding. She's only younger than me by 2 months, but she's in with the kids. I'm not. TikTok scares me, and I'm not ready for it ever. So Erin does that for me. She scopes this shit out and finds some books that people are talking about, and we both read it. So Erin's the one who likes these books. I'm the one who's a pain in the ass. And I don't know if I'll like the books. I'm kind of a judgy bitch. Sorry about it. So anyway, okay, so this first book, right, she writes it. This is her 16-year-old, like, writing.
Yes.
The main character's name is Selena. She's super mean. She's like a hot bitch. She knows she's a hot bitch. She's like a teenager. She's blonde. And she's like, I like expensive shit, whatever. So the book starts, she's in, what, the guild? What is this?
Yes.
Assassin's Guild.
The Assassin's Guild.
She's an assassin in the Assassin's Guild. And, of course, she's hot shit. Everybody, like, wants to kill her, be her, bang her. She's like, everybody's fucking obsessed with me, obviously. So she was sort of pimped by, what's his face?
A Robin.
Okay, Erin. Mm-hmm. You can tell us more about this situation.
Yes. So a Robin is the head of the Assassin's Guild. Obviously, he's a very problematic gentleman.
If you've read the book, it's obvious. If you haven't read the book, it's not obvious.
Yeah. He's very toxic.
Right, we've got toxic daddy issues for days here. And, like, how did he get her, at this point, what do we know about her life and how she got there?
Yes, so they found her kind of as an orphan.
Of course.
He took her in, as we say. I don't know exactly how helpful he was, but he took her in and trained her to be an assassin. And, of course, she becomes his best
He groomed her
assassin.
into a murderer.
Pretty much. And
so we open up there, and then there's the first job we see her go on for him. Wait, are we missing any information before we
Nope.
Nope,
that was going to be my next point.
Right. So, like, the story opens up. She's in the situation. You kind of get some info on that. And then there's the first job. And Erin, tell us about that.
Yes. So the first job that we see Selena get is that she and another one of the assassins are sent to make a deal with a pirate lord, and it is a slave trade deal.
Right. So she's going over there. She's supposed to like buy a bunch of slaves for what? Does Erwin want these people? Who is this
Yes.
for? I forget.
This is for Robin, and she feels extremely conflicted about it. The boy that she is with, who is also in the guild, also feels extremely guilty about it. And I think when they were going in, they didn't realize that it was a slave trade deal. And when they get there and they realize what the trade is for,
Right. Because they didn't tell her. They were like,
exactly.
yeah, you just need to go talk to the pirates. Yo, just do this thing. Don't worry about it.
Right.
And then, so Selena's like, well, this is, can't have that. Don't like this. This is bad.
Yes.
So basically, she's like, all right, fuck all these people. I'm hot shit. I'm going to free them all, these poor people. And so that's where shit sort of, well, okay, so after she decides she's going to do that, is that when the healer thing happens?
Yes.
Or what happens?
Yes. So what happens is she makes a choice to defy the Assassin's Guild and free the slaves. And when a Robin finds this out, he punishes her by beating the crap out of her. It's really
lots
awful.
Of violence
it's really
in this book. There's a lot of you know, if you have a history of abuse, like physical abuse, like maybe don't read this because it doesn't get better from here.
No, or maybe go in with a caution, you know.
Just know that there's a lot of people getting the shit beat out of them, and then it's like then they just move on with it. So anyway,
and then so Selena is exiled to the desert.
But that's after she frees them, because she does manage to free them, right? And then he's mad, beats the shit out of her, and then what happens?
So then he says,
he sends her
as punishment, I'm going to exile you to the desert. And on the way to the desert, so as she's traveling and, you know, on her journey to the desert, is where we see her show a healer how to defend herself.
Right. There's like some inn. She's like, I'm so mad at these people are fucking bullshit, and I have so much angst, and I don't know my parents, and then she's like, I just really want to fight people, and then of course, you know, conveniently there is a like girl working at this inn, and then she's, I don't know, starts getting harassed or something. What happens? I don't remember.
She was like, I think she was like putting up trash or something. You know, she's doing her nightly duty. She's cleaning the inn.
She's just doing shit.
She's doing her thing. And these guys, of course, try to be all shitty with her. And they try to kind of harass her. And Selena sees it. And she kind of intervenes. And
she's like, thank God, some violence for me to do. At last, my wishes and prayers have been, you know, granted to me. So she's like, hell yeah, I'm going to fuck them up. So she goes and does that. And, of course, they're all, you know, maybe dead. I don't know. And then she's like, oh, tell me your life story. So this girl's like, I'm from whatever. And honestly, nobody cares, because this character never shows up again. They have this whole thing. And then, you know, Selena's like, yeah, I'm so cool and good. I'm going to show you how to defend yourself. Fuck yeah. Everybody worship me. I'm so cool. So that's literally all that happens in this scene. And it just like it was just so like, okay, what is this for? It wasn't for anything, it turns out.
Yes, I will admit that scene in particular, I was kind of looking, as I was reading the book, I was kind of looking for another scene to happen with that healer. Maybe the healer's going to show up again. And
like it would have made sense if like she came back, or like yeah, there's a lot of things that like could have happened.
Right. There's a lot, and I think
opportunities there.
Yes, and I think there's a lot that, you can kind of see that maybe should have been edited out, and maybe if the editor had, you know,
Yeah, it's like
it's
silly. So anyway, yeah, whatever. It was pointless, but it was like, all right, cool. So that happened, I guess, on her way. Neat little side quest she had.
I know, it's like, well, what was that?
I was like, all right, well, enough of that. So she's like, okay, finally she makes it to the desert, and
Finally.
she like meets some other hot bitch. But they're like sort of rivals. What's her name? What's her fucking name?
So she goes and she has to train. First off, before we get to that girl,
Okay, I missed it. I was
no,
just
you're
thinking.
fine.
I was only thinking about this one bitch because I'm like, there's another one that was there and then disappears completely. Where the fuck did she go? Nobody knows.
Exactly.
Nobody cares.
Yes.
Dead
or alive or who knows. Yeah. No, I get you. So she is punished and exiled to the desert, and she is to train with the master there until the master determines that she is able to go back to the guild.
Right.
So the girl that she meets there at the with the master, her name is Ansel.
Right.
And there's another gentleman named Mikhail, and Ansel and Mikhail are together.
So Ansel's the chick, though.
Yes. And Selena is very, which is something I will applaud Sarah J. Maas for. She has these characters, Ansel and Mikhail, that are together. But as Selena is like sitting there doing the math in her head, she's like, Mikhail was an adult as he was courting Ansel, who was a child. And it was very, she said, like in her book, in the book and Selena's inner monologue, you get this sort of, ew, like that's really messed up and that's really gross that you're dating.
Right.
So,
it was like sort of a weird grooming. There's just like grooming shit all over the place where it's like,
yes,
oh, yes,
right.
I was a child and there's a guy and they make me do labor. This is fine. And it's like, or, oh, this is a child and we're just making you do anything, really.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like just sort of, at least it acknowledges that like, hey, yeah, this is fucked up. But it's kind of like, it just feels like every character has this like tragic backstory.
This sort of,
like, this is so soap opera ass. Like, look, it just. Oh, Aaron, one thing we forgot about is the fact that, okay, at the beginning of the book, she and Sam are like basically sort of sibling. There's a boy, right? Okay, who she's like rivals with, sort of, was like also adopted right into this. Mm-hmm. Shit with what's his face, Erwin.
Oh, Robin.
Robin. I was like, what the fuck is his name? I literally can't with these fucking fantasy names, I swear to God. Anyway, yeah, and so was he there when the pirate thing happened?
Yes. So Sam was there.
So he was there the whole time, but nobody cares really. Yeah. He's just always there. You know how that is. He just is helpful to have there so that things can happen and they can move on. So anyway, yeah, so and then they both got the shit beat out of them, but for some reason only she went to the desert?
Yes. But I will say...
Was it to torture them, to have them separate? Was that it?
Partly that, yes. And
there were reasons for this. I just don't remember any of them.
Well, Robin, I think, felt that he had, obviously feels that he kind of owns Selena, that he owns her, that he can make her do whatever he wants her to do. And because she defied him, and it's pretty much the first time she's ever defied him, he really wants to set, like, I feel like he's trying to, like, set an example by her.
Just, like, stomp it out.
Right. And be like, well, since she did this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send her and exile her to the desert. She's going to go through all this training with the master over there. And I will say I wanted to comment on the master character in the desert. Because,
let's talk about him because... Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, okay, I'll let you say your shit first, sorry.
Well, no, you're fine. I was just going to say that when she arrives there and she meets with him, he kind of looks at her and he's seeing the injuries that she has from a Robin. And I honestly thought that the master was going to be like extremely mean and just be as bad as a Robin. But he actually says, I can't believe they treat you like that.
Yeah, that was weird.
You're their best assassin. And why? I think I feel like he was trying to make Selena feel confident in her abilities. So I really loved the pieces showing her training with him because he was always encouraging and
well, it's so weird that like they send her there as a quote unquote punishment where like literally she's having a better time there than she was at home. And
exactly.
All right, well that's a I'm sure a parallel in some cases to real shit in the real world.
Absolutely.
Whatever. So she's training out there. Ansel is her main bitch. They're like besties, whatever. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, cool. I have a friend. I love that for me. And then Ansel stabs her in the fucking heart.
Yep. Not yes, actually, she does.
But
like betrayal.
What did she do? I forget. She was like on the DL, like a spy or some shit. I don't remember.
Yes. So she was a spy for another group and ended up betraying her and kind of betraying the master in a way. So they actually exile her.
Yeah.
But Selena feels really upset by that because she made a friend and she was good friends with Ansel. You know, it kind of shows them like training together, running together.
Right. And after all that, though, she has the opportunity to kill Ansel as she's running away.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't.
Right.
So that's cool. And again, it would be one thing if she ever came back in the story, but guess what? She fucking does it.
Right.
And I can say this because I've read a lot of the rest of them at this point. Sorry about it.
Well, actually, I want to put in a little side note here. So bear with us as we do these podcasts. You guys, we had completed 3 of these podcasts. We had recorded them. We were feeling really great. And all 3 of them were unusable. So bear with us.
My microphone was garbage at that point. And now I think we're at a point where it sounds a little better. We're still figuring it out. So sorry if the sound quality's poop.
But you know what? We're excited to be back and working on these podcasts for you guys. So
we're doing it live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, okay. So anyway, back to the story, right? So that whole thing happens, and then she gets the A-OK, you fucking leveled up from the guru guy. And then she's like, woohoo, here, I've been here a year, it's time to come back. And her boy Sam is still there. And then they like confess their love or whatever, and then they're like, we could get out of here, we could run away from this shit if we can just buy our freedom. And then they're like, okay, well, to buy our freedom, we're gonna have to pay per assassin some people. So they're like, all right, I'm out here. Someone pay me to kill somebody so I can like buy my freedom. And then of course, okay, Erin, you tell me what happens because I forget what happens.
Okay. As her and Sam grow and fall in love, they have their own little, romance going on at their own little place together. And there is a crime lord that is big in that area. And
right, there's a whole like underground like rival crime gang to
a Robin. Yes.
Her pimp daddy's rivals.
Absolutely. And forgive me, I cannot remember his name.
Me neither.
But
unmemorable.
Yes, unmemorable. Exactly. They decide they're going to take this job from this
Which was kind of a death sentence. Didn't they know it was going to be a death sentence?
Well, they both were kind of iffy about it. Selena especially. She says to Sam, I don't think that this is a good idea. I think that we should find another way to earn our money and get out of the city. But Sam is like, no, I think everything will be fine.
No, don't worry. We don't need everything a map. I've got it under control.
And the other thing that you just knew, unfortunately, spoiler alert, by the way.
Spoiler, he fucking gets murdered.
He dies. And the thing is...
Yeah, okay, I'll let you say yours because I have other comments about this fucking shit.
Okay, well, hold on. Mad. So, one thing is that Selena begs him. She says, let's do this job together. I don't like the idea of you going by yourself to do this job. And he's like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Which, of course, the minute that happens, the minute that conversation happens, you just know. You're like...
just know, and she'll be like, I could have been there. I should have been there. Here comes the fucking bullshit guilt waves, and it'll just be... Okay, so... Obviously...
So, say your piece. Yes.
She gets traumatized by that. That's a whole thing. Cleo's in here playing with a fucking piece of shit on the ground. Anyway, okay. Back to the shit. Okay, so Sam dies. And what's bullshit about Sam dying is, of course, they're like, we had all these dreams together. We were gonna move and we were gonna get out of here. And then, he's, of course, not just murdered, but like completely slashed to bits, which sort of made me wonder, would someone have faked his death? But then, of course, that wasn't anything. That was just, but like, what's bullshit is she literally, she just is like, la la la, like, in terms of like action, this was like a total limp noodle. Like, because, it's like, it's gonna be this whole thing, and she's like, okay, we don't see it happen though. We just sit around with fucking Selena waiting for fucking daddy to come home, and he doesn't. And it's like, you could have just had them together and had him die and have her get away. Like, it could have been a lot more interesting than this.
I agree.
And it seems kind of like she didn't feel like writing it. And at this point, I don't blame her. I wouldn't have felt like writing it either. But it's like, come on. So anyway.
I will agree. And of course, like I said, I've read on Goodreads and other book places that Sarah J. Maas's beginning series, which is Throne of Glass, is not as strong as the other two series that she has written. So I'm keeping all that in mind as I'm reading these books, that she was younger when she was writing these, that the writing does get better.
Is sort of just how it is, and that's fine.
So anyway, we end the book with that happening, and with that as the kind of climax of the novel. I would say, are you ready to do our rating out of 5?
Yeah.
So you go first.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go like a 3.5 out of 5. Like, it's not bad. It's, certainly it moved at least. But I mean, my complaints are she was already moping about a boyfriend dying, and then this boyfriend dies, and then she's moping about a new guy, and then it's like every book after that, some boyfriend dies and she has to mope about him. Sorry, spoiler alert. But like, this is literally a trend, and I'm like, fucking stop. And I'm like, look, they could have literally done anything for money. This is fucking stupid. That they were like, no, we have to murder people. It's like, y'all don't actually have to do that. But I understand it's a very fast way to get to your destination. And then, okay, the barmaid, she needed to either not be there at all or to have more of a role in shit. Just like randomly bringing in a character and then kicking her back out. It's like, this is useless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it, actually. I think that's all my complaints. What are your complaints?
I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Again, I think that when you think about a 16-year-old writing these and then getting them published, I think, okay, look, I have to give the girl kudos for that. But the world building is good. I'll say that for it. The world building is good.
It's pretty interesting, pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. It's action packed.
Yep.
But again, just a few things. I do believe that there's a couple things that could have been edited out, such as the healer scene that we've talked about.
Right. It's just not. It's not
right.
useful. It's just not useful.
And I think if she had just narrowed her, as I like to call it, your cast of characters, if she had just narrowed that down just a bit and really tightened that, I think overall the novel would have read better. But I think that
I think it needed more character development, maybe.
Yes. And I feel like a lot of the time the characters were kind of a distraction to the overall plot for me, because you didn't know who to really pay attention to, because you're like, okay, is that person going to come back? Another character.
Right, it's like, does this matter? Am I supposed to be remembering something about this? And then it's like, no.
Right. And another character that I can think of, actually, that comes in, you feel like is going to be a really big deal, and then isn't, is the pirate lord.
Yeah, that does feel right. Where it was like this whole thing, and it was like, oh, here's this pirate guy, which again is like, did we need pirates in here? I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Like, you already have assassins. I feel like you're doing either pirates or assassins, not both. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like cram everything into one book, and it's like, and we have some of these wizards.
And I mean, I feel that if she had tightened the plot and tightened the characters down a little bit, I feel overall it would have read better. So that is why,
boyfriend starting, because the book starts with a dead boyfriend we don't know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't need that. Like, you didn't.
We didn't need that. Right.
You could have. It would have been enough for. She has plenty of other fucking trauma. She doesn't need that one.
Exactly.
It's just like so much. It's just so much. It just feels so like, oh my god, the book
was a lot.
Fucking melodramatic as hell. I'm like, whatever. Oh, and then so and so also gets killed, and no, now you have to deal with that. As if things weren't bad enough for this bitch already.
Absolutely.
Now she has 3 dead boyfriends. Oh, will she ever overcome the trauma?
As you can tell, is the less serious of the two of us. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god, Cleo is literally chasing the wires shadows. Because I have this like wire spaghetti over, and she's like chasing it around.
Aww.
Can you hear it? Anyway, sorry, I'm very distracted by this cat.
It is
every
okay.
fucking time. Anyway, so wait, here's the thing. How does this book end again? At what point does it stop? I know we should have actually finished this before.
Well, okay, so basically it ends with Selena being captured. And so we get the death of Sam, and then she's captured.
Who is she captured by?
I believe it's captured by the rival
Wasn't it the king?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a king here, and he lives in a glass castle, and you only hear about it occasionally. There's no reason for it. It just is that way. But anyway, so now she's being kidnapped to a kingdom with an asshole for a king.
Yes.
But
and
isn't she captured, like, by the actual prince, or was it by some other, like...
Not by the prince, but by the king's men, basically. She is taken in.
Like, his, like, army shit.
Yes. So she is taken, and at the end of the book, we're kind of at the point where she's been captured. So we don't know what's going to happen next. So as a reader, that's kind of where you are. You're kind of like, oh, what's going to happen next?
Right. So it ends on a cliffhanger of
mm-hmm.
she's gotten hijacked. Once again, Selena has been hijacked. This is not the first time this has happened, and it will not be the last time this has happened.
Poor Selena. But
it's just constant. It's like, yoink, well, we've got you now. And she's like, I want to have me. And they're like, nope. We have yoinked you. It is, your freedom is not allowed, actually.
Nope. But the next book in the series is called, of course, Throne of Glass.
Right. Of course.
Of course, you know.
Any idiot would know that. Yes, so anyway, and this book is the actual first in the series.
Yes.
The Assassin's Blade is, what, a quote-unquote prequel? Like, I still don't understand.
Yes, it's like...
how it's a prequel.
Yes.
When she wrote it first anyway, not, like, after. Like, isn't a prequel when you write it after?
I believe so, but...
And, like, this is not really... But anyway, whatever. I'm not a fucking PhD in names of shit, so I'm just gonna stop.
Basically, I'm titling it Book 1 in the series, in my brain, you know.
So this is Book -1, or 0.
0. Book 0.
Anyway, yeah, I guess that pretty much is it. Any last thoughts, Aaron, before we wrap it up?
I think that pretty much covers everything, and I appreciate everyone who's going to be tuning in. If you want to follow along, what you can do is we'll put a little blurb at the beginning of each podcast, like a little written blurb, so that if you want to, read the book and then listen to our podcast, you can read along with us. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Yep. And, I mean, I had fun reading it, even though it was kind of stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
And, the rest of it is also adventurous. So, looking forward to hearing what you guys think. Aaron, we need to figure out where to send people, like, social media. We haven't set that up yet, but we're getting there. So,
Absolutely.
Stay tuned.
We're getting there.
All right. Bye, everybody. Have fun. Keep reading. Pet a cat.
Bye, guys.